Well guys, it's that time of year. The snow has fallen and it's cold. Not much has fallen, but it's enough. It's wet. Let's get inside where it's warm. All right guys, back inside, nice and warm. Got the compressor fired up. Head next door. So we got a lot going on, and with the snow going on outside, it's hard to push cars in and out. There it is, up in the old tree house again. I'm gonna try buttoning up that floor today, get that welded in so we can get it dynamatted, and then it'll be ready for carpet. And then I'd like to move forward. We'll see where the day goes. As you can see, we are stuffed in here. We have the 67 Mustang fastback here. Cool car. It's going through all the metal work on it right now. And both the cowls on the bottom side where the fresh air gets pulled in was rotting out. We are doing a vintage air setup on this. We're not going to need those holes, so we're in the process of getting those all welded up. Car overall is super clean. We've had much worse Mustangs. This back corner was munched a little bit. We're pulling that out. We got some new metal for that, as well as a trunk floor. Well, we got Steve's El Camino or El Wagonino. We have lots of nicknames for it, but in the end, it'll be cool. Kind of a one-off. They have been done before. I know I've touched on it. Give you a little sneak peek progress. We are going to do a full video on this thing eventually. Inspiration-wise, we have a couple here that have been done in the past. As you can see in this one here, it's got the rear gate that opens up on it off a wagon. We're not going to do that. I think it looks a little funky. It's a little weird. We're gonna just make it kind of factory looking. So the ideal is based off of 5960 El Caminos, where the A and B pillars are nice and thin, and it's all glass. That's gonna be kind of our goal for this one. You can see right here, we're in the process of, this is actually a rear one-piece gate that we're using. We're gonna end up getting rid of the bottom half there when we box all that in. But we're in the process of making the B pillars here, and from a side profile, they're nice and thin compared to the other ones up there where they're real thick on the side. I don't like that extra cab look. It's requiring a bunch of work to get it to that point, but Dane's been tasked with this job and he's been killing it on it. We'll have to hand form this metal up here, and working on getting these in place here to run the bead through. And then down here we have a big filler piece. It's over there, but this will basically fill this gap so that this transition ties in here and dives down. Still a little early to tell all the details in it, but it is going to be cool and it's coming together. There'll be more on that later. Can't wait to get it outside. We'll check it out, get a good side profile of it. Updates on the Merc. Merc hasn't had a lot of action here in a while, but in the last few weeks or so, last month or so, we've been going to town on it. On this one here, we did a Scott's hot rods front end on this one, and Scott's 4-link kit in the back. The front IFS on this thing didn't really match up well at all, to be honest. The quality of it's really good. It just didn't match the factory frame rails. Plus this car had an X member in it, which was, as you know, can really get in the way of a lot of things. So we went ahead and just removed that. We put some 2x4 frame rails in there. Right now it's all nice and open. We're going to put the 5-liter Coyote motor in it with a 10-speed automatic, and that thing is massive. We need lots of room for activities. We're going to put some cross members in here, of course. Jeremiah's been working on this one and going to town. We have these stubs kicking off here. That's where the 4-links are going to tie into for the rear. We've got exhaust pass-throughs there. Yep, nice and sturdy. We're going to build full plates to tie those two in there. It's going to be pretty awesome and roomy. Well, I say that now, but what we're trying to do is avoid staying out of the floor pan on there, because at the end of the day, we want it to be kind of stock-ish looking. We got Jason's 57 here. We got the doors, hood, and some of that loose sheet metal. It's over in the body shop. It's all got metalwork and primed. The fitting continues. Spent a bunch of time under the dash, getting all the critical components for the LS and the 6-speed, all the mounts, AC, all that stuff's under the dash, and it's just about ready to blow the rest of this apart and get that scrubbed up for prime. We'll get it all roughed in, and then reassemble and for final fit, which on the other side over here, we got Justin's Nova. The Nova's been here for a while. This car got fully dipped. A lot of metalwork in this one. Detroit Speed mini tub kits. That's all been pre-fit with the Detroit Speed 4-link kit. It's got a TCI front subframe on it. This car here running LSX 454. It's got a little bit more stroke than a typical LS motor, so we had to run a slightly deeper pan on the bottom down there so it clears the cross member and power steering. So we fabbed up, I know it's hard to see, but we fabbed up some motor plates in here on the CNC, and they fit well. It basically brought the motor up and back so it fits in there a little bit nicer. So we got Ring Bros hood hinges on there. It's going to run a Be Cool radiator and all that stuff. And this car here is about the point where we're going to start doing the final fit of the AC, all the computer stuff under the dash as well, before it heads to the body shop. And again, that one will get blown apart, scrubbed up, reprimed. This one here has already kind of gone through a rough in, so we got new door seals and stuff in it as well. So anyway, all part of the fit, lots of pre-fit stuff. We have a pair of axles here wrapped up for Ben at 406 Garage. Check him out if you're into international stuff. He's the man. Bert C10, we joke about it. He's a great guy. That truck has gone through all sorts of different stages of the build, and currently we're just doing a fuel tank swap on it. We actually freshened up his inner fenders on it too. They had some paint issues on the insides there, so that's all taken care of now. 57 Chevy. Funny story about how a couple customers met in this car, but we won't go into that detail. We did a Holly Sniper EFI conversion on this car. Other than that, it looks pretty stock. It's in here getting power windows put in now. We have Jeff's 67 Chevelle. This one here, we popped the body off the chassis, Raptor lined the whole bottom, did any metalwork we needed to other than the outside blue stuff that you see. We changed all the interior to black. It used to be all blue. Satined out the dash, tops of the doors, all that stuff. Smoothed the firewall as well. Vintage air that we're running right here, and that'll come out behind the fenders. 525 LS3 with a 5-speed TKX Tremec transmission. Also full ridetech suspension on it, front and back. We got all the control arms and stuff for that, as well as adjustable coilovers. Got wheelwood brakes on it. Gonna be a pretty sweet ride without getting too crazy. But we're a paint job away from getting there, so trying to hold back. Here's some brackets here on the class table for that Mercury over there. We're just pulling some measurements and stuff off, and we're gonna actually rebuild all those, you know, for the custom frame. They're kind of a generic bracket, but anyway, the reason we're here, this guy. So where we left off last time was, I think I got the tunnel roughed in and fit. See if we can see up there. Here. Yep, there it is. So I'm gonna button that thing up, get it welded in, and finished off, which will be challenging with it up in the air. So I'm gonna do some shuffling, perhaps, and see if I can't get to it. Gotta get a welder up there somehow. Treehouse it is. There's no room to move anything, so, oh well. I'm busting out the big boy welder. It's got long stinger and ground cords on it, so I'll run that up there, get that fit, and start fusing. Made it up into the tree fort here. Think I got everything I need. Let's get that welded. Got one side knocked out from here over about halfway. I'm going to knock out the other side, and here we go. All right, guys, got everything welded in there. It's not the prettiest, but I'll knock it down. It's all sealed up. Everything is good to go. I'm going to put a little epoxy down over the top there, and then I'll recover it Dynamat, and we should be good. Well, guys, we're about back to where we started. Tunnel's all welded in, got the E-coat on it. I do still have to put some Dynamat on it, let it dry good first. Give it a couple hours, so it feels good to get this inside buttoned up. It was a long ways and a lot of stuff to redo. Anyway, I feel better about it in the end. So that's all nice and sealed up. Now I can move forward. I would like to get the radiator on there. It's a little precarious balancing out there with this car up in the air, so I'll take a peek at it and get back to you here in a minute. Dynamat's in, floor is done, everything's sealed up and looks fine. Blended in. Finally. All right, I'm gonna move out, start tackling some other stuff. Here we go. Hey guys, back again. Today I'm gonna tackle these headlights. What the issue is I'm running H4 conversions in them. The bulbs that plug in the backside are a little bit on the long side, so the harness doesn't fit within the headlight buckets, but I got a solution. I'm running the H4 conversion. These are made by Hella. Pretty bright. So here's the bucket, and what the issue is on the back side of these where the plugs are, they're a little deeper than what was originally put on there. So I need to open up the back side so that we have room for, here's the harness, have room for these plugs to fit in there without smashing up. Plus, keep all the road grime from slinging up into the back of them there. I got a solution. It's not dumb if it works. Here we are. So I have a whole box of these stainless cup holders. A little on the small side, but for some custom console stuff we were doing here a while back. That'll give me room and depth. So if I can take them and weld them to the back sides of this, open up that hole, give me all sorts of room there, and it won't rust. I think it'll work. It's better than having the wires open on the back side or moving the headlights out or something funky. So I'm gonna get these buckets prepped out, get the cup holders prepped out, and get them on there and get simple things like the headlights installed. So on this cup holder here, you can see the edges are kind of rolled over and soft. Maybe you can't. What I'm gonna try to do is flatten that out. So I got a piece of some thicker wall 14 gauge exhaust tubing, and I'm gonna slip it over that, put it in a press and see if I can't get that to flatten out. Yeah, then it could weld nicer. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, I think that'll do it. Got it straightened out, give a nice surface to butt up to the back side and weld to the headlight bucket. Now I just gotta do it 3 more times. Alright, got all 4 of those flattened out where they need to be. The old exhaust tubing held up for what it needed to. I'm gonna get the buckets cleaned up so we can get these things fused. I gotta pop some holes in them and all that good stuff. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna clean off the back side of this, find center on them where the headlight buckets sit. These guys are gonna get welded to the back side. That's gonna be fantastic. But what I'm gonna do is get the knockout punch set up, pop some holes in these, clean them up, and fuse them. Alright guys, got the holes punched out. So this little knockout punch here is pretty handy. Just drill your arbor hole here to pick out the size knockout you want, and there you go. Nice clean holes. You don't have to drill egg shapes. So then this guy here will sit right there. When it's all done, I'm going to tack that around there. That'll be sealed up and give me more than enough room for a plug in there, but keep all the wheel splash from getting in there. So the main harness goes in here and then circles around, comes back behind her. Otherwise it would have been easy enough just to plug it into the back. But That would be too easy. So
I'm gonna get this one tacked up, reassembled in the car, and then we'll grab the other one and repeat process.
Alright guys, got that side put in over here. Button up, obviously still need to adjust the headlight length, bulbs there, but yeah, it's in there. Lots of clearance behind it, so I'm gonna tear apart this one now and do the same thing. All right guys, next move is to start getting this radiator situated. So this is just a eBay special Champion radiator. They didn't make an LS version for this for 58 Chevy, so we added the steam port here, moved the spout, it used to be over here somewhere, and then threw on an electric fan. We'll eventually build a shroud and stuff around it. We got trans coolers here. I'm gonna put these fittings on for the 6AN tranny cooler lines. Probably aim them both inboard because the lines are coming dead center and I can kind of make a nice little loop. So I'm going to get these fittings on here and then bolt the radiator in, and then we'll start measuring out for the radiator hoses and stuff here. So we got the steam port as well. So that'll be nice moving forward. And then also we have the AC condenser from Vintage Air. We're going to get that fit on there as well. So we can start buttoning up all this plumbing that's been dangling out the front. Good things. Glad to be out of the inside of the car for once.
Let's get this one step closer to running. Let's do it.
Well, the last thing I want to do is jinx this thing, but that radiator went in pretty dang smooth.
I have an upper radiator hose that I found, got the lower one put on, even got the factory steam port line. So cooling lines are hooked up. This is going on. There's plenty of room up here. This intake will sit like that. There'll be lots of room. I'm going to move down below and get the tranny cooler lines now hooked up to the bottom of the radiator. The fittings I just put in, so we'll get those trimmed and put in right
now. Sorry about that, guys. Knocked you off there. So you can see what I'm doing. I ended up changing this trans cooler line to a straight instead of the 90. And then this guy here will come right along there like that. It's gonna work out good. Well, check that off the list. So all the lines are ran back to the tranny. Everything's hooked to the radiator. It needs to be hooked up. And so I still gotta do the condenser, but I think I'm going to reattach the exhaust. When we move the motor up, change the angle of it, I just cut those off. So I'm gonna do that now, see if I can reuse those pieces or if we have to make new ones. Get that done, get that crossed off the list. Hey guys, I got the driver's side exhaust button up. I ended up making a new drop pipe, put that O2 sensor up on it, ties in, clears a little better than it did before actually. I still got this side to do, so I'm gonna get on that now. All right guys, that's gonna do it for this session on the wagon. Overall successful day. And this is all gonna be compiled, so several days, I guess.
Radiators in, fan, heater hoses, sorry, upper lower radiator hoses, transmission cooler lines, steam port. Also got under here, got the exhaust back in action. Button up a few wires underneath here. We're getting close.
getting real close now. I think the next go around here, I'll get the AC condenser in and that plumbing buttoned up. Getting closer. That's gonna do it for this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We really appreciate it. And if you like the wagon or have any questions about it, let me know. We're also gonna be doing a bunch of other shop content throughout here. As you know, SEMA videos should be dropping here soon. Anyway, guys, thank you again for watching the video, liking and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.